I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
Yes, we did.
We watched Our Friend.
You wanted to call it something different.
I did. I wanted to call it by the name I know it by, which is not so different. When we saw this movie an age ago, when did we see this movie?
TIFF 2019.
Okay, so as you may know, when you see movies at film festivals, a lot of them have not been bought, they don't have distribution, and so you might see something that's coming out in 2 or 3 months, and you might see something that is coming out in 2 or 3 years, if ever.
That's the magic.
Yes, the magic of film festivals. So Sean had forgotten about this one when I told him we have seen it. I still ordered the screener because I knew we would need a refresher in order to talk about it. I didn't know that he would need a complete.
Oh yeah.
He didn't know
Once
we'd
it
seen
started,
it at all.
though, I recognized it.
Okay, so it wasn't just the name change that was throwing you off.
No, although both are pretty generic.
Yes, so when we saw it, it was called The Friend. I don't know why they felt they needed to change it to Our Friend. It is not that big of a change. And it is based on an article that was called The Friend. So
it did make more sense the first time around.
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, this is what they've decided to do with it.
There you go.
Someone got paid money to make that decision.
Right. And it's been sitting on a shelf somewhere for 1.5 years, but it is coming out January 22nd on premium digital and on demand. Is it worth your money? Is it worth your time? Well, now that we've seen it twice, I am still going to vote yes. I gave this a good review when we saw it 1.5 years ago. I remembered that I had liked it. Even though I don't like Dakota Johnson or Casey Affleck, who are the stars of this movie, and yet I still enjoyed this movie, even though it is a major, major bummer of a movie.
It is.
So, in a nutshell, it's a cancer movie. Dakota Johnson plays the cancer girl. She is a young wife and mother in the movie, so it's super tragic. Not to say that it's not super tragic if somebody who isn't a wife and mother dies. All lives are the same, but this has got a particular ache to it.
It does. It is hard when there are young kids involved.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's a different sort of loss to them than to anyone else.
Mm-hmm. That is right. So yeah, she's got cancer. She's got a bad cancer. She's got a terminal cancer. Her husband, Matt, is played by Casey Affleck. And basically, they're barely holding it together. I mean, with 2 little kids, a sick dog, a sick wife, you've got doctor's appointments and special diets and medications. The house is falling apart. The kids are barely getting fed and gotten to school. It's rough. It is a really rough time. And they are very lucky in a small way. It's hard to feel lucky in this situation. But they have a friend. The friend, their friend.
Our friend.
Sure.
Our friend, Jason Segel.
Great Dane, played by Jason Segel, yes. So he basically drops his job, drops his girlfriend, drops his whole life to come live with them, to pull them through this hard time.
Yeah, and they don't live in the same city.
No.
They live like a state apart from Louisiana to Alabama.
Very good.
Thank you. So it's a big move for Dane, and as you said, he drops everything and he just goes and moves in with them.
So let's talk about that kind of friendship. That is obviously remarkable enough that at the end of the whole thing, because this is based on a true story, it is based on an article that was published by the widower, Matthew Teague, if you're looking him up. He wrote an article called The Friend for Esquire magazine, an award-winning article, according to the end cards of the movie. When he wrote about his wife's death, he found himself writing about this friend who really made all the difference to them. And who knows how they would have gotten through it without him. Because it was difficult enough with him there.
Yeah.
But yeah, what an act of friendship for this guy to just put his own life on pause and show up for these people 100%. In the time of need, and in a time when a lot of people, even very, very close people, sort of disappear.
Away. That's the natural inclination because we're so uncomfortable with death. Is we don't want to be around there because we don't know what to say because it's awkward. Well, Dane doesn't have to say anything.
No.
He's just there. And that's really, I think, a really valuable lesson to all of us. There's no right thing that's going to solve everything. But you know how you help? Is you just do things that need to be done.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, that is how you help. And it's also true that it doesn't matter what you say because nothing you can say will make it better. I think people need to remember that a little bit more. Sorry, there is no right thing to say. Everything will be wrong. There are maybe different gradations of wrong, but who cares? It is a tough time. You're not going to ease it with your words. So if you can ease it with your actions, that's what this guy does for this family. And obviously, that is a huge takeaway for the family at the end of this.
Well, clearly, because as you said, Matt intends to write about his deceased wife and writes about his friend who helped them through all this. That's how much of an impact it had on all of their lives.
Of course, Dane, the friend, is a good friend of both the husband and wife in question. So he also has his own grief. I think he also puts that on hold to allow his friends and also their very young children to have those opportunities and those last moments together be as good as they can be.
Yeah.
I'm trying very hard to make it through this without crying. It's very difficult for me. So just trigger warning, everybody. It's going to be a sad one. Bring your Kleenex. Don't show up without it.
No. Because not only does Nicole die, their dog also dies.
It's so
of cancer. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair. And what a terrible thing to sort of prime the kids with, right? They've just found out mom has cancer. Oh, by the way, we had to put the dog down because the dog had cancer. Now there's an indelible link.
Yeah. And
not a wrong one, as it turns out. So this is, like I said, a new release coming out from Elevation Pictures. It's hitting your digital and on-demand stores, wherever you rent movies, January 22nd. It has a female director, Gabriela Cowperthwaite. A pretty good cast. I was surprised by how much I did like this movie, despite, I reluctantly will say that even though Dakota Johnson just rubs me the wrong way, she's not terrible. Oh boy.
That's high praise from you.
I know. She's not terrible. She's not terrible in this. She's not really terrible in much, I suppose. So I have to get over my dislike of her, which apparently is unfair and unfounded. My dislike of Casey Affleck is founded and fair. And it was even difficult because this character, as Sean kept pointing out, that I was struggling because it's very emotional, but also because this character, Matt, dresses so badly that it was like mentally difficult for me to get through this movie as well. I'm like, I don't know if I can have sympathy for a man wearing cargo shorts, guys. This is a real test. I did it. I found
it. You did it. Yeah, it's true. You did.
Whew. And I was worried. I don't know if I'm wearing waterproof mascara. So I was trying not to get all emotional. And I've seen this movie before.
Yep.
And at least one of us remembered it. Anyways, Cherry Jones, Gwendoline Christie pops up for a time. It does have a good cast. I think the movie is interesting because it is telling us the story of a woman's death. But I think it earns the emotional tone through flashbacks because we're learning about, a fuller life and how this couple came to be, but also how this friendship, the three-way friendship here, was formed. Because you do feel like it must have been a pretty special friendship because, no offense, everyone out there, but I think a lot of us, do you have a friend who would be able to put their entire life on pause to move in with you and care for you for like, I don't know, a year, 2 years.
It's pretty rare. This is a rare thing.
A super rare thing. So I think it is, even though it is a sad movie and an emotional movie, it's also like such a nice message to send to people, to know that people like this exist and friendships like this exist, and that we really can make an impact in people's lives. Even if you can't put your whole life on pause, you can be part of a chain that does that. I think, if they had more than one friend, then maybe it wouldn't have fallen all on him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just kind of a nice thing to know that people can do that for each other.
Yeah, it is.
Lean on each other and depend on each other and be there in those really tough moments.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, really. I mean, that's when it matters.
That's right. I will be there for you in your tough moments.
Thanks. Same.
Oh, yeah. I feel so much better knowing that you'll be around.
Yep.
I mean, I don't even feel comfortable dying and leaving the house in your hands.
I know.
Like, that's the only thing that would keep me going in my last moments. We're just knowing that if I died, you would not clean the house sufficiently.
I know, you'd have to supervise me.
You think I would haunt you during cleaning? I'd be like, you did it, dust.
Yeah, I do.
You'll just see like ghost fingerprints in the dust, and you'll be like, oh, she ran her finger, she knows.
I do. I honestly do.
Let this be a record, Sean. Don't just dust the tables, but also dust the things on the tables.
Yeah.
I know,
I have to move them
yes.
and move them back.
But you have to also dust them while you do that.
It's dusting everything.
A picture frame can collect dust too.
Yeah. I know that intellectually.
Okay, so we're now taking applications for friends who are good cleaners.
Please.
I can't leave this guy on his own.
No, this would be a great weight off of Jay's shoulders if we just had someone signed up to do the cleaning and do it well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just think of, I wouldn't have to wait for the walk sign anymore. I could just take my chances at jaywalking because... We've got a friend, you know? We've got a friend. It won't go all to hell.
We're now taking applications.
Yes, we are. Please apply within. Oh, boy. But yes, I like this movie. Did you
like this movie? I do like this movie.
Okay. Even you liked it the first time, too.
Okay.
Even for forgetting it.
Then I liked it both times.
I'm glad.
It's a good movie, and it is
a good movie.
You know, we have lots of dying people movies, but this is different because it does focus on the friendship, and it gives you, the snippets of all range of their time together from the start of it all the way till the end.
That's right, and I think it's nice that it leaves us with a purpose. I think that's one of the things that we grapple with around death, especially, is how helpless we feel and hopeless it feels. But this gives us a duty that we can do. We can all, even if we can't do it all, everybody could do something, you know? So I think just having that kind of message out there, being like, hey, these are the contributions that we could make and make a difference. And then when you see it, because death is still very, very private. Even in 2021, you know, you kind of do it behind closed doors even to this day. And we saw in this movie a really great sort of palliative care nurse that came in the last days. Because she's the only one. She's the angel, right? She's the only one who can get to know you in your most intimate moments and bathe you and feed you and clean your bed sheets and know you on such an intimate level, and knowing all the while that you will die. But we do that so much of the time behind closed doors. We have special places for dying people so that regular people won't have to run into them.
Yeah.
So I think a movie like this is a door opener, and it gives us, you know, it's not just there to tug on our emotions, as so many of the cancer movies are, but it's showing us, like, up until that moment of death, it was dying, but dying is still living. And here are the things that a dying person still needs. because there are a lot of needs.
Oh yeah, there's more for them than for most.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So it does take a lot of help. And so I really like that when we learn that we can contribute.
Yeah.
We can not stand by feeling so helpless.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about.
It is. Yeah. You're right, a takeaway.
Yes, because unfortunately, we will all be in those shoes at some point. We
Probably
will
more than one point.
all be called to nurse somebody and to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And that's never going to be easy,
No.
but you can do it.
Yeah.
And the one thing you can't do is watch this movie without a box of Kleenex.
No.
Unless you're Sean.
Unless you're me.
He's a robot.
Yeah.
He doesn't make tears.
No.
No. We just rust.
I just make sad feelings like, oh, that's too bad.
The only sad feeling you had was when you accidentally left out your leftovers and couldn't eat them
Oh,
the
that
next
was
morning.
sad though. Those are delicious.
We need a friend. This is what I'm talking about. We need a friend. Somebody who's like, did you put that food away last night, Sean? But like, say it that night.
That
not
night,
the next
not the
morning.
next
It's too late.
It was too late.
It was too late. Although, what did you say?
Are they still good?
He is a grown man, but wasn't sure if he could still eat the food that had sat out all night.
I was just hoping
You were just
the
feeling
answer was what
optimistic.
I wanted
I know. Please. I'm totally going to be one of those wives who lines up your next wife and probably marries you off before I even die because I do not trust you alone.
Well, you don't want me eating eggs that are 2 days old.
I don't.
No one wants that.
No one wants that. Oh gosh. Anyways, our friend. Oh, I almost called it The Friend again, but it's Our Friend. The magazine article is The Friend. The movie is called Our Friend. Jason Segel, Casey Affleck, Dakota Johnson. Available for rent January 22nd, which is probably right now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.